Welcome back, math people. Today we are taking a look at the commutative property of addition. And you may not even know what the commutative property of addition is, but that's okay because you're going to learn about it today and why it's important. So let's get started. First of all, exactly, what's the question? What is the commutative property of addition? Well, this is what it is. Let's take a look at our very first problem here. 10 plus negative 4. Now, in previous video lessons, you've learned to use the number line. We always start at 0, right? Always start at 0. And our first number is 10. So I'm going to go from 0 to 10. All right. Very nice. And now I'm going to add to that negative 4. So from 10, now I'm going to add negative 4. So that means I go, because I'm adding a negative, I'm going to go to the left 4 spaces. So I'm going to start at 10 and go 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's adding negative 4. And what do I end up with? Well, I end up with 6. Okay? Well, then let's look at the next one. It's negative 4 plus 10. As you can see, all I did was reverse the order of the integers that I'm adding. But because of the way this stuff works, I'm going to start at 0 again, but I'm going to go to my first number, which is negative 4. So starting at 0, I'm going to go to negative 4. There I am, going to negative 4. And now from there, I'm going to add 10. So starting at negative 4, I'm going to go up 10 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Plus 10. And as you can see, I ended up at the same place. So, I reverse the order of the numbers that I'm adding, and I still get the same result. That, my friends, is the commutative property of addition. You're going to want to write this down. The commutative property of addition means that adding the numbers gives the same answer no matter the order. They can be in any order that you want. As long as you're adding, you're going to get the same answer no matter what. So, what's the big deal? Why should we care about that? That seems pretty silly. Why should we care if the order doesn't matter when you're adding? Well, here's why. Let's take a look at adding this question. Let's see if there is. I have negative 5 plus 4 plus negative 5. Well, the commutative property of addition says that I can move the order of things around if I want to. So I'm going to change the order, and I'm going to make this negative 5 plus negative 5 plus 4. So you can see I moved this negative 5 to here, and I moved the 4 to there. So I just swapped the order around. The cool thing about that is that now I am at the place where I can say, okay, well, now I'm going to add negative 5 plus negative 5. I know that a negative plus a negative is just going to give me a bigger negative. Negative 5 plus negative 5 is negative 10. And then plus 4. So these two equal negative 10. And now I'm going to add 4. And negative 10 plus 4 happens to be negative 6. So by swapping the order of those around, I was able to do some mental math a little bit easier. Now let's take a look at another example. This one over here on the right. So make sure you write this one down. Negative 3 plus negative 5 plus negative 7. Ooh, all negatives. Okay, well, I'm going to swap the order. I'm going to change this to negative 5 plus negative 3 plus negative 7. So you can see I swapped the order of negative 3 and negative 5. Just swap the position of those two, because now I can add negative 3 plus negative 7 is just negative 10. And I'm going to add that to the negative 5. So now I'm going to add negative 10 plus negative 5, or negative 5 plus negative 10, and that is going to give me negative 15. So the commutative property, with the commutative property, I'll write this down. I'm going to highlight it so you write it. With the commutative property, you can move numbers around to make mental math easier, which is very, very cool. Awesome stuff. But you're probably asking yourself, what about subtraction? Does it work for subtraction? I don't know. Let's take a look and find out. So, if we take a look at this first problem here, negative 10 minus 4. 10 minus 4. Remember what subtraction is. In earlier lessons, we learned that subtraction is adding the opposite. So I'm going to change 10 minus 4 to an equivalent addition question where I'm adding the opposite. The first number doesn't change. 10 stays 10. Subtraction changes to addition. But now I'm adding the opposite of 4. What is the opposite of 4? Negative 4. So now I am looking at 10 plus negative 4. So look at my number line here. I start at 0 because I always start at 0 on a number line. So I start at 0 and I go to 10. All the way up here to 10. Okay, there's my 10. And from there, I'm going to add negative 4. So from 10, I'm going to go to the left, 4, adding negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Adding negative 4. And where does that put me? That puts me at 6. Well, we knew that because we did that in an earlier problem. But this time we were subtracting, right? Changing subtraction to adding the opposite. Let's try the next question. So 10 minus 4, I'm going to try 4 minus 10. Will that give me the same result? I don't know. Let's find out. So I'm going to start at 0. Always start at 0 when you're adding or subtracting on a number line. Oh, wait. We can't do that yet. We need to change subtraction to adding the opposite. I almost forgot. So the first number, does it change? No, the first number never changes, but subtraction changes to addition, and we're going to add the opposite of 10, which is negative 10. So now what does that equal? Well, okay, now we can go to a number line and start at 0. I'm going to start at 0, and I'm going to go to 4. So from 0 up to 4. And now I'm going to add negative 10. So from 4, I'm going to go to the left 10 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So negative 10. Where does that put me? At negative 6. So 10 minus 4 is 6. 4 minus 10 is negative 6. Are those two the same? Most certainly not. They are not the same. So it is obvious that the commutative property does not work for subtraction. So make sure you write this down. Whoops. There is no commutative property for subtraction. You cannot reverse the order of your numbers and get the same answer. But what I do want you to notice is that if you reverse the order, this one was 6, this one was negative 6. If you reverse the order, you get the opposite, which is an interesting idea. Anyway, that's all I've got for you today. The commutative property of addition, not subtraction. Have a great day. Don't forget to be awesome. Keep on mathing.